What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with And Just Like That, Season 4, Episode 10, Better Than Schmecks. Y'all, I actually thought this was the last episode, but there's another episode that's coming on next week. It was pretty good. Like, I kind of had a lot to say. It was a lot going on. Before I start though, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure y'all like the videos so we can stay in the algorithm of things. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed to my channel. We are moving to 500, which is my next goal. So I thank y'all so much. So much. All right. Also, Sunday, I will be on the Black Girls Den podcast live Sunday night. Saturday night, I will finally do my first review on Love and Marriage Huntsville at 9:30. So I'll start my live at 9:30. I already have the in my live, I already have the thumbnail up. So y'all, if you go over there, click for the notification. Y'all will be notified for my live. Tomorrow night, I want to say, what is it? What's the name of that? Is it either tomorrow or Saturday? I know Ready to Love come back on. But if Ready to Love comes back on Saturday, I won't be able to give y'all that pre-recorded until Sunday afternoon. And then there's the other show, Hustle and Something on OWN. I'm not sure if I'm going to review it. I'm just going to look at it. As I stated before, I'm really starting to be mindful about taking my breaks. Taking like what breaks I can get. Because when the shows start to come, they come, and I don't want to burn myself out on this. It is easy to get burned out, especially this early. For me. Alright, y'all. So, the episode starts with Carrie, y'all. She's writing. It's fall at this point, and she actually has furniture in her home. Like, kudos to you. I don't like the decor, but it's in there, okay? So Duncan is actually there reading her book, and I mean not her book, but her script, and he is actually amazed by her work, right? Duncan asks, would he be reading her work if Aiden was there? Carrie said she have no idea. She said it 3 times. And then he gets up to leave and go home so he can write his book. Apparently Duncan's been putting off his work to read Carrie's book, but I think it's a little bit more than that. So in the next scene, Steve, Miranda, and Brady are at home eating dinner. And Brady lets them know that he got somebody pregnant. And he finna be a whole daddy. Like, he gonna have a little baby carrot top, okay? So Miranda said, like, how do you know if the baby is yours? Brady said, because she told him. And I'm like, Brady, that's not enough. That's not enough. Now, if I have not been around you in so long, I probably would get a test. You know, they was just, schmecks buddies, okay? But I still need Brady to go ahead. Just go ahead and take a little test. You should be okay with giving him a test. You cannot just kind of tell somebody this. Like, he saw you wasn't pregnant, and now you big pregnant. Yeah, that's not okay with me. So Steve tell Brady, and I feel like Steve handled this all the way wrong. And Steve tell him, you was just getting your life together, and now you effed it up. Steve said, you're only 20 with $2 in your pocket and no condom. I was like, Steve. I mean, it was funny, but yeah, no, you don't handle it like that. So we need to understand that Brady is 20. Okay, he has surpassed the almost legal, because he ain't fully legal till he's 21. All right, but I get what Steve was saying. Like, yeah, you about to bring a baby in this world. You haven't figured anything out yet. You don't even know what you want in this life, and to bring a kid in this world, yeah, that's a lot. So I get it. So Miranda then called the girls and tell them, what Brady told her. And now we just need Brady to find out if that baby is his. Okay. In the next scene, Anthony and Giuseppe are butt booty ass naked on the couch about to get in, and they get a knock on the door. Well, it turns out that it was a fireman at the door, and they actually have to get a hotel because the neighbor punctured the gas line trying to put up a flat screen TV. So everybody have to evacuate at this point. Giuseppe was like, listen, we ain't got to go to a hotel. We can just go to my place. Anthony was like, I was afraid you was going to ask me that because you have a roommate. And y'all know Anthony older. He don't do roommates or nothing like that. All right. Anthony said we can go to the Motel 6 where we keep the light open. All right. That's all Anthony wanted. He didn't say that, but Anyway, we get over to Giuseppe's nasty room with a twin bed. Y'all, I was like, really, Giuseppe? Like, I really thought, I ain't think Giuseppe was living like that. So his roommate, it's the next morning, his roommate burst into his door. Keep in mind, him and Anthony are in the bed with no clothes on, because they were asleep. Okay, we sleep. So his roommate burst into his room with no clothes on. His roommate came in there looking like Robert Englund. Y'all, shout out to Freddy Krueger. Okay, if you know who Robert Englund is, you know who Freddy Krueger is, then y'all know we about the same age. All right? And so he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had company. And he showed Giuseppe the little puppet doll. And the puppet doll looked just like Giuseppe. I was like, this is so creepy. Sir. So he walked by, he left out the door. I want to say his name is Andrew. Andrew walked out the door. Anthony asked, who the F was that? Right? So Anthony said, I thought you said your roommate worked. Wait, what did he say? I thought you said your roommate worked at Whole Food and not Old Foods. I said, Anthony. And so Giuseppe was like, Andrew would hear you. Anthony said, you mean Geppetto? So y'all, Anthony then tells Giuseppe he wants you, or he want you in him, if you get my drift, right? So of course Giuseppe takes this time to be a little naive. He tells Anthony that Andrew is asexual, and Anthony was like, asexual what? And Giuseppe was like, listen, an asexual is someone who isn't into anyone sexually. All right. Anthony was like, okay. So y'all, in the next scene, Seema and Adam, she's over at Adam's house, right? It's a nice place. It's really a nice place. The maintenance, the upkeep, the cleanliness, it's really, really nice. And so he shows Seema a plant. And I want to say he said that was his mom. Now, I don't know if his mom was cremated and did use the ashes. I have no idea. But I didn't get that part. And so that, he talks to her about her mom and all of that. So then in the next scene, we see Seema talking to Carrie at they're sitting down eating at a little restaurant. Seema think that what's his name? Think that Adam has mama issues. And for me, I just need to know, Seema, do you really want a man? Because y'all, Seema critiques, and hold on, I'm not mad at it. But Seema critiques every man that she meet. Like, I don't know what you want. And even when she got with Adam, she critiqued him. Like, Seema, you not perfect. Ma'am, you broke. Like, not that matter, but you ain't got, like, we can say a lot about you, Seema, but you're just constantly critiquing Adam. Anyway, so Carrie tells Seema that Duncan sees her thoughts, and he see her meanness, right? I was like, okay, Carrie, fine. So Miranda and Charlotte goes to the salon. We find out that Mia is a young lady's name who's pregnant with Brady's baby. She works at the salon. And when I tell y'all she big pregnant, she is big pregnant. So she's washing Miranda's hair while she's passing gas. I was like, girl, you nasty. Anyway, so she's shampooing Miranda's hair and she's just really gassy. And because she's pregnant, I get it. She's pregnant and she real gassy, right? So her and Mia talk, and she was like, you know, she basically asked Mia like about the father, and Mia was like, oh, it was just it wasn't really nothing there. We was just smashing here and there or whatever. So Miranda was like, listen, how do you know if it's his? She asked her that twice, I want to say. And so Mia kind of checked in and was like, why would you ask me that? And so she tell Mia that, listen, I'm the mother of Brady. Mia was mad. She took the water when she shampooing her, y'all know the little took the water and sprayed it all in Miranda's face, right? I was like, girl, that was rude, but it is a way you could have went in there and had a conversation with her instead of just trying to do all of this. You could have just moved on aside, just had a conversation with her. That was it. Right? So, in the next scene, we are with Carrie and Duncan. And Duncan goes upstairs into Carrie's room, basically, and he's looking at her shoes and her dresses. And only reason I said that because I just wanted to point out how much Carrie is such a girly girl. Like the Jimmy Choos and a heel, like she has nothing less than flats, nothing under 6 inches. Everything is heels, beautiful closet, colorful clothes. It's just, I love her style. And Duncan invites her to a publishing party. And at this point, we realize that Duncan actually liked Carrie. And I think Carrie likes Duncan, but she doesn't want to admit it. I don't know if she don't want to admit it because she thinks that in some way betraying to Aiden. Or she just feel like it's too soon. But she actually liked Duncan. They like each other. And that's just the bottom line. So we get over to Lisa's house. Y'all, Gabby is in Lisa's closet pulling out socks. So Lisa walk in her closet and tell Gabby, hey, what are you doing? You need to go take a bath and get ready for bed. And so Lisa asks, like, again, what are you doing? Gabby tell her, I have to find Shirley. Y'all know Shirley is the hamster. And she said, I lost Shirley. Lisa asks her, why isn't Shirley in her cage on my desk? Gabby tells Lisa that I was just taking Shirley for a walk. So at this point, Lisa is frantic, right? And she tells Gabby, and Gabby tells her Shirley was bored and that you were supposed to watch her and you're never home. At this point, Lisa is frantic. She was like, listen, how could you do something so stupid? Like, Lisa was mad. She was like, the hamster could be unalive somewhere. It was just, because Lisa is overly stressed at this point. It wasn't just a hamster. It's the job. It's the, like, Lisa have all of these hats. And I sometimes don't feel like a lot of the people in the house don't help her take off the load. I don't know if she has that control thing where she want to control and do everything. But as Herbert said, you're not you're not Superwoman tonight. You're not Supermom tonight. So Nana walks in. Child, Mama Wexler. Mama Wexler walk in and tell Lisa, this how you speak to children? Listen, the way Mama Wexler, you gotta get the hell out of my room and you need to mind your business because, baby, these are my kids, not yours. I would appreciate it if you, I'm sorry, But that's how you need to check Mama Wexler. All right? Because she don't mind checking Lisa. So Herbert walks in the room. At this point, Lisa is apologetic and for yelling at Gabby. She's frustrated because she's never home. She's always tired and she's always thinking about work. I told y'all, when she's at home, she's busy. She's busy with the kids. She's busy with the house. Herbert has her working on his campaign and all of these things. And then when she's at work, she's working all of these hours trying to get her docu-series complete. It's a lot. It's a lot. So Herbert tells her, and he validates her emotions, and he tells her that she's human. And there was just this sense of calmness in Lisa when he told her, you're human. And I appreciated that. Y'all know I tap on Herbert kind of every week. Because, but this time I'm not. I appreciate him for validating her. Anyway, y'all see Seema go downstairs. Y'all know she's at Adam's house. So she go downstairs to smoke a cigarette. She opened the window where the plant is located. Now y'all can visibly see next to that window is next. There's another window. There is no plant over there. It's just a window. Why didn't you open that window? Right? I feel like Seema pushed that plant on purpose. Because she knew that she think that Adam has mama issues, and I just think that that's just him in a way trying to honor his mom. Whatever it is, you can't. However people honor their family, it is what it is. I don't know, but I think she pushed that plant out there on purpose. Because I was like, I had to rewind it and see how she knocked that plant out, because it wasn't that serious. Like all you had to do was raise the window up and just stand there and smoke the cigarette. Better yet, you could have just used the other window where there was no plant over there. So yes, I feel like that was purposely done. So she go upstairs, tell Adam, he jump out of bed, and then we hop over to the next scene. So Carrie, Charlotte is over at Carrie's house because y'all know she was supposed to do her Zoom call, right? And so she's talking to Carrie at this point. Charlotte's talking to Carrie at this point. And Carrie tells Charlotte that she's going to go to the publishing party with Duncan. She tells Charlotte that she hesitated because Miranda said that the connection between Carrie and Duncan was more than just writing. And so she said to... What she said? She said to Charlotte that she was very defensive with Miranda, and she was. Y'all remember 2 episodes ago? She was real snippy with Miranda, and Miranda was just like, "Okay, let me just be quiet." She didn't say anything wrong. She just pointed out what she saw, what all of us saw. All right. So Charlotte asked if it was more, and then Carrie get defensive with Charlotte. She tells Charlotte that Aiden said the same thing about her and Duncan. Clearly something is there. They both know something is there. Anyway, Carrie says she don't want to go there with Duncan. And I understand that because you just got out of something with Aiden. So I really understand that, right? So Charlotte was like, listen, that's up to you. She said, not Miranda, not me, or even Aiden. And you were true to him, but he's gone, you know? And she tells him, she tells Carrie that you're here and that dress deserves to be seen, right? So Carrie then says if anything happened between her and Duncan, she would never hear the end of Miranda. And, I'm sorry. Okay, come on, people. Really? We had a good thing going. And so Charlotte was like, that's not true. But she said, even if it is, screw Miranda. And I was like, hold up. This scene was cute, but at the same time, it pissed me off because Carrie knew Miranda meant well. let me say, y'all, Miranda said to Carrie that her and Duncan looked like they were vibing and that it was okay for her to have a good time. Because y'all know Carrie was trying to convince me, y'all, and all of us that she wasn't miserable in this Aiden situation when clearly she was. At this point, I think Carrie is still deflecting because she really liked Duncan, but she won't admit it to herself, right? So, because y'all know she had told Seema earlier that day that, you know, she liked how Duncan sees her thoughts and her meanness. So, again, you're still trying to push this off on Miranda instead of really sitting there and admitting how you felt or feel, not felt, but feel about Duncan. Like, that irritated me, y'all. Carrie kind of been pinching my nerve, okay? All right. So, I think I really enjoyed the conversation with Charlotte and her. She's on that guided meditation Zoom call, and y'all know she tried to do it at her house, but they're reconstructing her apartment or brownstone. Harry is watching a game and it's loud. Rocky and his son are at her house tapping, and the only place they can tap at is in front of Charlotte's door. So she needs to be on that guided meditation call, and she needed to be quiet. So she went over to Carrie's house. That's why she was at Carrie's house. Carrie was leaving. And so it turns out that she did all of that. She have 12 minutes left for that Zoom call with Rhonda. Rhonda is the guided meditation coach. So Charlotte, I feel like Charlotte at this point kind of she released a lot in that moment. Just by telling, why am I about to get emotional? Telling y'all, go to therapy. I'm telling y'all, it works. Whatever type of therapy, holistic, you know, spiritual, whatever works for you, y'all, it's a good thing, okay? So she tells Rhonda that Harry just came through cancer, and she's still carrying that around. She said that she was very scared and she wasn't allowed to express herself to anyone. And that is a lot for a person to hold. It's stressful and it's up here. And I'm just, yeah, you carry the stress here. All right. So, Rhonda finally appeared on screen because Charlotte told us that she's never seen Rhonda's face. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on one second. And so Rhonda actually appeared on the screen, and Rhonda actually shows empathy in that moment. She tells Charlotte, you forget people are loving on Zoom and not very loving when you're going through so much. And she gave her all the time she needed, because the first thing Charlotte said was, oh, you know, we only have 12 minutes. And Rhonda was like, take all the time that you need. And I thought that was really nice. I thought that the compassion was there. I thought that the empathy was there as well. So the next scene, Adam pulled up on Seema because he kept calling her and texting her, and she wasn't returning the calls because she felt bad for, you know, she said, I unalived your mom. I took your mom out. And so Adam was like, no, it was cancer that took my mom out. Like, Adam not tripping. And so he goes up to Seema, grab her and kiss her, and he brings her the plant. So he was able to revive some of the plant. Brought it to Seema's office, and she was like, they self watered or whatever? And he was like, no, you have to water it. He said, but that's why I'm here. I think that was a metaphor, but I didn't catch it. It might have been. I just didn't catch it, y'all. So anyway, Lisa Herbert and the family, they head down to the campaign headquarters for the city comptroller election. And so his family is cheering him on. They get on the elevator, and it wasn't a second later, of course. They come back home, and he didn't win. He didn't win. And so Mama Wexley at this point is pissed. She tells Herbert, how could you enter a race if there is a chance you can lose? And I was like, oh wow. Like, I knew Mama Wexler was an a-hole, but I didn't know she was an a-hole like this. Like, this is a lot to put on your kid, instead of saying, listen, you worked hard, you know, you did all the things, you work hard, and you can't do nothing but try. You know, you can only try at this point. You did the best you could. Maybe, you know, just something. I'm proud of you. Something. Like, she met him with, you should have done better. Yeah, you did this, but you could have done better in order for you to win. It was just like, oh, wow. So Lisa tried to validate his emotions when his mama just invalidated him. Invalidated his, or whatever it had. She shot it down. And so she tells him, you're human. And at this point, Herbert not trying to hear that. I'm just like, well, Herbert, listen, I get it, but your wife, he's just walked off away from Lisa. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, whatever. So Carrie had on this business casual suit, because she's always in her head. Like, y'all, if y'all ever watch old episodes of Sex and the City, Carrie has always been a woman that has always been in her head. And even being in her 50s, she is still in her head instead of just doing. Like, I think the only time she would just do is if it comes to her writing. Anything else, she's just always in her head, right? So anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. So Carrie have on her business suit on her way to the publishing party, but then she look at what she have on, y'all. Of course, she go back upstairs, change into her dress that she had hanging up, and I tell y'all, she looked immaculate in that dress. Like, she ate that dress. Like the was sitting. I mean, she was beautiful. Okay. Only thing I just don't like all the time is the wavy hair. Like, I wish she would have just kind of pinned it up. But she always have that wavy, wild look that just always worked for her. So in the next scene, Anthony wants Giuseppe to move in with him. And Giuseppe was like, well, no, we're not ready. I don't want to rush this. I like what we have. So Giuseppe was like, listen, I'm going to the restroom. As Giuseppe is headed to the restroom, he hear sounds, and he looked in the room to see what's his name? Not Adam. What is his name? Andrew. To see Andrew beating his while he had the doll, just Giuseppe's puppet, in his hand, and he immediately changed his mind about moving in with Anthony. And I'm like, I don't even know if this is gonna work, but that roommate is creepy. Anthony was right, but I don't think him and Giuseppe moving in at this point is gonna work. But you also got to get rid of that roommate of yours. But hey, living in New York is high. Like, apparently you have to have a roommate, right? So in the next scene, we find out that Duncan missed his deadline. His publisher, Imogene, used to be his wife. They're not married, but that's still his publisher. So Duncan apparently will be back in the UK next week. Because of course he asked for an extension so he can write. I don't think he ever asked for an extension, but he did this time. Anyway, Carrie and Duncan make it back home. Again, they both express that each person is wonderful. Basically, they like each other, as I stated, because they've been spending so much time together. No matter how much Carrie tried to deny it, you're spending all of this time with this man. You're learning about this man, but you keep saying it's all about the writing, and it's not. It's not just that. It's more than just that. So, Duncan asked Carrie to come downstairs with him, and she turned him down. And I was like, I get it. It's fresh. She gets to the top of the stairs, and she was like, you know what? She went down to the stairs, and she gave him the cat. Okay? Gave him the cougar. Okay? So, we see Duncan and Carrie in the bed. They talking, laughing, just having a moment, a beautiful moment, if I can say. And did y'all notice, like, again, if you watch Sex in the City, when Carrie would smoke a cigarette with John or Mr. aka Big, she would share his cigarette with him, or she would share the drink with him. She had before COVID, I don't know, way before COVID, but they would share a drink. She had this thing of taking her men's drinks or her person's cigarette, or and smoke. She always did that. I don't know. So y'all noticed how Duncan had the drink. Duncan is now sharing his liquor with Carrie, but they did that back at Charlotte's party. They shared the liquor from the same glass. He pulled out a cigarette and started to smoke a cigarette, and he passed it on to Carrie, and she was like, no. So I really think in real life, Carrie do not smoke cigarettes. Like, Sarah Jessica Parker do not smoke cigarettes anymore, and that's a good thing. So he tells Carrie he may have missed the deadline. He also tells her, he said, I may have missed the deadline, but she has given him a lifeline. I was like, okay. And so we see that, I don't know if he left already, but we see that her garden is complete. I don't know. I think he left and went to the UK. Her garden is complete. She's sitting in there drinking tea and just kind of she's sitting at the table, kind of just looking directly towards his apartment. And the episode ended here. They do have another episode next week, y'all. I'm sorry this is so long, but I kind of had a lot to say. I will say this, my apologies, y'all, because I wish I would have given more, in the past couple of episodes of my reviews. It was pretty good. Next week they're having Thanksgiving, so y'all, we gonna see what that's about. Anyway, y'all, if you have not done so, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel on your way out. And I will see y'all tomorrow when I review BMF. All right. See y'all.